And that's because we finished part one of our work. Okay? But we're going forward. So part one was to learn the three usuls. Part one is learning three usuls along with an introduction. And in part two is what we're going to start today. Okay? What's the first usul?
Islam.
What's it called though?
The first usul.
Why are you guys not saying anything?
The first is the maqasid sharia.
The maqasid, the objectives of the sharia, right? The objectives of the sharia. Everybody say that. The objectives of the sharia. That's what I should have heard when I asked what the first usul is. Okay, what's the second usul?
The second
Five primary principles
Give
of
me a full
fiqh.
sentence there.
The second usul is the five primary principles of fiqh.
Why is everybody sitting there samiton? Yani, if you, the whole point for learning this is to be able to regurgitate it. Okay, guys? Let's go. What is the second usul?
The second usul are the primary principles of fiqh.
Right, the primary
Principles of fiqh.
principles of fiqh. What is the third usul?
The third usul.
Wow, the ladies just beat you guys. You know, no offense, ladies, you guys are doing good, but you guys are not. You know, you gotta be awake. You gotta be awake. You gotta be on your top. You know, الرجال قوامون على النساء. The men are supposed to lead the way for the ladies. You gotta wake up, guys, and be sharp. Go ahead, ladies. What is the third usul?
The third usul is 5 legal rulings plus 2.
Right, the five legal rulings plus 2, or the 5 ahkam is another way of saying it. Plus 2. Okay. These three usul, along with the mentality that's supposed to come with it, which is that we're supposed to be paying close attention to as-sihhatu wal-faragh, taking example of our taking care of our time, right? Seeking understanding from the beginning, and those other things that I mentioned in the introduction are part of the methodology of the talibul ilm. So now we're going to go over here and we're going to learn part 2. Part 2 is the usul. Please say it.
The usul.
Adab. Tullab. This is the first, this is the general title. Okay? And some of the methodologies of learning. This is where we're starting. Okay? This is what we're going to study now. Let me draw you a picture. And then everybody can draw a picture. Ilm. Please don't write. Everybody just listen to me for a few moments. Don't write. Some teachers would not allow their students to write. Some teachers wouldn't allow the class to start if everyone didn't have a pen. Teachers were different in that regard. The Prophet ﷺ, in this regard, didn't let the people write down the Sunnah. Did you know that? He did not allow anyone to write any hadith. And neither did Abu Bakr. His entire life. And neither did Umar. And neither did Uthman. And neither did Ali. It wasn't until the grandson of Umar, and his name was Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, he was the first one to allow the writing of the Sunnah. I think that was the 88th year or 81st year Hijri. 88 years. Why is that? Anybody know why?
Yes.
Yes. Tafaddal.
Because they didn't want
Because they didn't want
it to be confused with the Quran.
it not only to be confused with the Quran, or the people ينشغلوا أنفسهم فيها عن القرآن. Or that people would get so busy, focus on that, and leave the Quran. You guys get the point?
Yes.
Showing that there's a fundamental thing we focus on here, and everything else is then supportive. You follow my line? That works into Talibul Ilm as well. You have those sheikhs like Ibrahim al-Nakha'i. He was, we call him a mukhadram. He was a man who lived in the time of the Prophet, but he never met the Prophet, so he's not a Sahaba. So we call him mukhadram. But he was on that level. He wouldn't let you to write because he wanted you to listen and pay attention clearly. In Talibul Ilm, one of the most important methodologies of learning is hifz, memorization. Okay? So the thing you memorize is normally going to be what we call a nas, a text. Min that, from amongst that would be the Quran. From amongst that would be hadith. Or the poems. Get that? You memorize those poems. And it is part and parcel of those things you focus on. Other things, the lectures, you pay attention to them. Because they are supportive of the text. You guys follow me? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, be alive. You know, there's the thing, the ducks. You know why the ducks quack when, you see them running like this? Flying through the air? The ones in the back are quacking the loudest, right? The one in the front is not quacking. Why are they quacking? Say again?
Because they say we are following.
Okay, they say we're following. Who else said something? Yes, sir.
Know that they're there.
They let them know they're there. Anybody else?
Sense of direction.
No, the one in the front is using the echo sound, the echo direction they call it, What they say is the bird psychologists, they're encouraging him. Keep going. Push. Because remember, he's breaking the wind for them. He's doing the hardest. The ones in the back has got it easy. He's just catching the wind screen, right? But he's yelling, the ones in the back are yelling the longest. The loudest, quacking the loudest, encouraging him to go stronger, go harder. And then when he can't go anymore, he drops his wings to his side and lets the stream push him back to the very back, and then he starts to yell. And so from Talibul Ilm, it's the same thing. I'm up here, but you should be quacking, encouraging me. Because it's a mirror type of thing. If the teacher sees the students bored, the teacher gets bored. If the teacher sees the students, energetic, then the teacher gives more, and vice versa. It's supposed to be the thing. If the teacher came in and I said, okay, today we're going to have a class, and yet the jam-jammy, we say in Arabic. You can't hear what I'm saying. I'm mumbling one. You're going to be like, you're not going to even want to come to this class. So don't make me feel that way. When I come to the class and I'm giving my energy, I want to receive it back. Capiche? Don't give me no wiggle. No, it's serious. Mediocrity is not acceptable in Islam. Inna Allah ya'muru bil 'adl wal ihsan. Allah commands us to do justice and to give excellence. So mediocrity is haram for us. You think we're sleeping at night? No. We're sitting up thinking about how to present this and how to encourage the ummah to be better. And if that's not reciprocal, then it's a waste of time. So let's get it together and do it together. Now, knowledge is is part of the visa that we're trying to get. It is the tree. We're going to call this tree knowledge. Al-ilm. It's not a beautiful tree, Now, in this tree, anybody got any different color things? Do we have any other colors? No. Okay, no, just pretend this is red. You got one? There you go. MashaAllah. Hassan, give it to me. Thank you. So now this is the What? This is the berry. What kind of fruit that comes this color? Anybody? Has a tree?
Cherry.
Okay, so it's a cherry tree. Yeah. I did not. The guy lied, right?
Right, did not.
He did. It didn't exist. Story's a lie. Did you know that?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so what do we call this stuff in the tree?
Fruit.
The fruit. So we're going to call that the fruit of knowledge. Okay? This is the fruit of knowledge. What's the fruit of knowledge? Action. Thank you. The fruit of knowledge is action. Didn't we say that from the beginning?
Yes.
Didn't we say that what is our objective with learning? Tell me, guys.
Our objective of learning is to act upon what we learn.
and use it.
Act upon.
To apply, not to have the ability, but to do what Allah wants you to do in every situation, right? Not to have the ability to do it, but to do it. Okay? Because having the ability makes someone a munafiq. Isn't that correct?
No.
The hypocrite knows he has the ability, but does he act? No. So having the ability alone is not sufficient. And knowing is not sufficient. And this is what we learn from Surah Al-Fatiha. Those three types of people. Those that know and just didn't do anything about it. Sami'na wa asayna. We hear and we refuse. We rebel. We resist. This is the Jews in that example. But it could be us as well. And those that don't have any fruit, but they're pretending that they do. And that is those people who just act without any knowledge. So, the fruit of the knowledge is action. Some of the scholars say the fruit of the best of the action is ibadah. Ibadah is the fruit. To worship Allah. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسِ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونِ. He says, I have only created the genies and the humans in order to worship me. So the best action is ibadah. Okay? But it's not restricted to ibadah. We have mu'amalat. Because when we look at the books of fiqh, fiqh is divided in four major parts, right? Ibadah is drawn from the fiqh of the hearts, right? Then we have business transactions with all of its deals. Then family provisions, including the meals. Legal procedures, offenses of law. Then under these titles make everything. Put under ibadah the worshipping laws and the acts that stem from the slave to his Lord. Aqidah, tahara, preceding salah. A janazas for all when the rich pay zakah. Siyam, itikaf if you're spending the night. And a hajj for whoever can pay for the flight. That's only 8 things, right? 8 subjects. There's 38 chapters of fiqh. So only 8 encompass ibadah. 30 encompass what we call mu'ammilat. Please say that.
Mu'ammilat.
And these are for the most part mubah. Mubah. Well, acts mubah. Get my point? And unless we have proof,
It has to be denied that a people's practice can always be
because
applied.
the people's practice is mubah. Unless we have a proof that it has to be denied. Do you guys understand me?
Yes.
So most of the acts, the mu'ammalat, are mubah. And there are all types of ways of applying them. So, but we had marriage, we had business, we had legal procedures and those things like that. So pretty much you can do anything as long as we don't have a proof that you can't do it. Why? Because Allah said, هُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ لَكُمْ مَا فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا. He is the one that created everything. Why? مَا فِي الْأَرْضِ. Everything in the world for you. Jami'an, all of it. Ta'keed, emphasizing it. Does everybody follow me? So these are the 2 types of action. Follow me, guys?
Yes.
And that's the fruit of knowledge. Even if you want to drive a car, you need knowledge of driving in order to do that. And the fruit of it is that action. Now you can be going anywhere, and it's cool as long as my acts will get no attention till that act is depending where you're driving. And if you come into the masjid, it's an act of ibadah. Every mile, every drip of gas. Okay. You guys get my point?
Yes.
Okay. So now we're missing something. We're missing a few things. Can a tree take any weight if it doesn't have any roots?
No.
So the roots to this tree. We're going to call this the adab of tulab. Adab of tulab. That's the roots. That's what keeps it firm. That makes this a weight-bearing tree. Okay? That allows. What happens with the roots in the ground, guys?
The roots in the ground.
Speak clearly.
The roots in the ground absorb nutrients for the tree to grow.
One of the things they do is they suck up the nutrients from the ground. It's very important. With those adab, you're able to suck in beneficial nutrients that strengthen the root, the core of the tree, right? That then strengthens the fruit and makes it taste better, right?
Yes.
So that's, and also if someone tries to climb it or it gets heavy, those roots keep it firm and don't let it weeble and wobble, right? It's vital to have this adab. Adab is manners, etiquettes. Okay, do not write. This is what we're referring to here. And then we're missing something. What's the other colors here? Yeah, the other colors. Passage source. Don't we need a ladder so we can get some of these things?
Yeah.
You don't think that? That's right. And we need a basket, right?
Yes.
Basket so we can put some of these fruits in. So we don't lose them, right?
Yes.
What are these? What are these things?
The ladder makes it accessible to the fruit.
Right?
The teacher.
And it helps us to preserve it, right?
Yes.
What I say was the most important method of learning for the Taubah ilm.
Memorization.
See, this is the basket is memorization. You don't got no basket, you got nothing to put it in, right?
No.
You don't have no ladder to get them out so you can reach it. So these are some of the methodologies of learning, of accessing, right? These become methodologies. Learning. Well, so we're going to call that accessing the fruit.
And also like useful tools.
That's right. These are useful tools for accessing the fruit. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And preserving the fruit. So this is what we have to learn. This tree.
Okay.
Okay. I don't have a copyright on it, but I made it up. Now, for homework, everybody has to draw a tree. We need a really good tree. So whoever gets the good tree, everybody else got to pay him some money. I wish, right? No, but you got to come up with a tree, because I'm not a good, artist in this thing. I know I can teach, but I can't draw. But it has to, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Here goes my 1,000 words right here. This is what a Taubah ilm has to understand, this tree. When they do not, then you see what we've gotten when you don't understand this. Okay? We have chaos. We have people trying to get a fruit and putting it in their pocket, and what happens? It's smashed. Okay? Put it in their book, it gets smashed. They don't know how to preserve it, don't have proper access to it, throw rocks up to knock it down. There's some things that happen. Don't have the roots so they get put on a tree and it falls over and it becomes something else. Okay? becomes something totally different. When we come back, I want you guys now to draw what you have seen of your own and what you have understood. I'm going to take a few minutes and offer salam. ma'am.
Could you tell me the letters underneath Ibadah?
M-U capital A because it's an Ain. Mu'ammilat. It's from the word amila. The actual word is, I'll write it in Arabic, is Amin, Ain, Lam, Alif, Ta. Mu'ammilat. Okay? What is two T's? That's the ta right there. From the word amal. See, the root word is Ain, Mim, and Lam. Amal, which is action. Mu in front of a word means one who. From Sirat al-Mustaqim. Okay? One who has the characteristics. So these are actions. Okay? These are called just actions because they're, you know, everyday, or we might call mundane actions, or I don't know why we call it mundane. You know what? Anybody?
Well, you do it all the time.
So that's what mundane means? That means normal?
Yeah.
Yeah, so normal, anything that is not an act of ibadah. But there's a catch. Anything that's in mu'amalat can turn into an act of ibadah. Okay? There's so many, if you do it the way Allah told you to, with the intention of pleasing Allah by that. Sleeping. It's a mundane act, right? But when you strive to sleep the way Allah told you to sleep, okay? And to get up when Allah told you, everything you're doing becomes an act of ibadah. Every mu'amalat becomes an act of ibadah. Does that make sense, everybody?
Nice.
Even walking. The Prophet walked quickly, meaning he walked with purpose. Doesn't mean you have to run, but that means you have to walk with purpose. Okay? Not, you know, lollybagging around, just no direction and everything like that, like you got all day. You don't got all day. You don't know that. Oh, or you had people who walk like they super duper pious. Aisha called them liars. Kadhabtum. She said, you're a bunch of liars. Ma kana Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam hakadha. Aisha, after the death of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she saw some men who were trying to be mutadayyin, trying to practice their deen, but they got it mixed up. So they would walk in, Assalamu alaikum, brother. And they were acting like this. So Aisha's crossing the street, she sees them, she said, y'all a bunch of liars. Kadhabtum. You're lying. Messenger of Allah and his companions didn't act like that. And the unspoken reality is that they were, of course, more pious than you. You get they walking around like this and everything. One time, Umar, he saw a man walking like that. He said, are you sick? The man said, no. Boom, he punched him in the chest. And I walk around looking like that. You do that now, that's your dealer. You know, people think you crazy. No, you know, Islam is a rujuliyya, yani muru'a, shakhsiyya, you know, character, you know. So, alhamdulillah rabbil alamin, be you, you know. As they say, have character, don't be one. Nowadays, all the TV programs and storybooks are teaching the children to be characters. Right? Everybody's sarcastic. Everybody got something slick to say, right? As opposed to having character, you know, in this regard. There is a difference. One serves your ego, okay? The other one serves your soul. So, alhamdulillah. Are you guys finished? Yes. If you finished, say yes.
Yes.
Okay. No, pay attention to what?
Detail.
How many roots do we have? Give me a full sentence.
We have
Five.
Attention to what?
Detail.
That's intentional. Because we're going to deal with the usul al-adab. The usul al-adab are 5. Like these 5 roots right here. 5. Can I erase the board?
Yes.
Okay. first usul, or first asl, or root, is the adab. Of the student
Student
with
with
himself.
himself. Can we write?
His nafs. Yes, you can nafs, right. His nafs. Say his nafs. Or her nafs. The adab of the student with himself or his nafs. Let me tell you an interesting thing right here. It's when we study this in Mauritania people love language. Language is important for any reason, because, if you don't understand the words, the terms, the context is lost. Does that make sense, everyone?
No.
We call it adab. Look at the word. Adab. Right? Adab. We used to say بدأت بقلب الأداب. You get it? So, if you flip this, what's the word? Bada'a. What does bada'a mean? To start. Start by flipping the beginning. That's how we say in Arabic, Start by flipping the beginning. How do you flip the beginning to become adab? Start with adab. Does that make sense?
No.
Now, where does the word adab come from? Because it's not adab, it's adab. Okay? It's a long sound. Adab. Where does the word come from? It comes from the word adab. Adabun. Adabun. What is adabun? Adab is reading. It's literature. You get it? Like what they call the arts, the liberal arts. It's all about reading, classical readings. Why? Because in the Arabic language, there's hierarchy in speech. For example, if I am talking to my senior and I say, we're at a neutral place, Qum, wahayya, stand and come. Is that in order? I use the fi'lul
No,
Why not?
because I'm older than you.
He's older than me. So even though it's in order, it's an encouragement. Okay? It's an invitation. Does that make sense?
No.
If I speak to someone younger than me, and I say, Qum, wahayya, what is that? It's an order. Because I'm ordered. And if I speak to my contemporaries, again, it's an encouragement. You get my point?
No.
But it's a different encouragement than speaking to the adult, to the elder. And that is understood through reading adab, reading the literature. So what happens when you read a lot? What happens then? You start to learn what is appropriate to say and do in all those different various situations. And that's how you become muta'addab. You become adab. You have that adab. Does that make sense, everybody?
No.
The more you read, as we used to say, in Morehouse has a thing. It says the 5 wells. Okay? And one of the wells is well read. Well, if you read well, then you speak well. One is connected to the other. You travel, if you're well traveled, you dress well. Right? It's exactly because you know what you can take and what you need and what you shouldn't take and don't need. You see other people's clothes and you say, well, I could use that, this, that, and other thing. Does that make sense, everybody?
No.
And then finally, if you're well trained, then one day someone will say, well done. Okay?
No.
So, all these things are the 5 wells we get into. But the first here is, I call it riff. I'm aging myself. I'm dating myself. Anybody remember riff?
Reading is fundamental.
There you go. The young guys were like, reading is a fundamental. We say it's fundamental, but the implied speech is a fundamental. So also, you can't do without. What's the first thing Allah told us to do? Get the point, guys? So the best thing to read are the stories that Allah put. أحسن القصص. نتأدب بها. If we think about them and contemplate them, we see all types of situations and how we should respond, okay, in those situations or behave in those particular situations. Everybody follow me?
Yes.
So understanding the term adab is vital, where it comes from. That's why I said understanding the terms, the words, then you'll understand the sentence. We say if somebody doesn't understand the ishara, he will not understand the ibara. Man, if he doesn't understand, like what was it, ishara? كيف أقول بالإنجليزي يعني?
A pronoun.
Like ishara, like if I say like,
Sign.
like it's
Important to it.
something. Yeah, if he don't understand a hint, that's the word. If he can't take a hint, then he ain't gonna understand a lecture. You get the point?
No.
It's gonna go over his head. You can explain to him all day because he's not sensitized to knowledge. He's not paying attention to what? Details. How does he learn to pay attention to details? By reading the stories and seeing what happened to this one when that happened to that one. And then he says, oh, that could be this or that could be that. Does that make sense, everybody?
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. So, the first adab or manners, the adab, the person, no, I'm going to call it adab. It's the adab. We're talking about plural. We're talking plural, yeah. But the English is the adab. He's correct. But the first adab that the student must have is this adab with himself. Okay? Now, there's many things under these. Today, I'm just giving you general. The main thing is his heart. Okay? Focusing on his heart. And that's for him to be sincere. Okay? I know I said I wasn't going to give everything, but I'm going to mention some things, okay? Allah says, Allah says, وَمَا أُمِرُوا what is لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ? That's مُخْلِصِينَ what? That's the first thing. And وَمَا أُمِرُوا, you have not been ordered to do anything. This is what the law says. وَمَا أُمِرُوا, and you all have, and they have not been commanded to do anything إِلَّا, except to worship Allah. How? What's that? What's that?
With sincerity.
Okay, that's a literal translation, but that's not what it means. That's part of it. That's the fiber. It's sewed into that meaning. You get it? It can't be separated from it. But you don't need that word, and it takes away from it to do your honest to God level best. Does that make sense?
No.
To do your wholehearted best. That's what it means. Your best, and it's personal. وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ. Another proof. Allah says in the Quran, وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ, and what Allah has provided them with, they spend. Stop thinking just money. Intellect, class, style, pizzazz, connections, whatever you have, you bring it. And you give it all. You want to die broke. When I say broke, empty. You spent all and every bit of your life living for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, fulfilling your mission that Allah created you for. So you spend time thinking, what did Allah give me that He didn't give someone else, or that He made me give me the predilection for? How can I bring that out? How can I put that in the puzzle in the time frame that I'm living to make a difference, a lasting difference, right? Why? Because all of our objective is wal asr, okay? To go and it's not enough that we believe. It's not enough that you live your life as a righteous person. We have been ordered to find some other people and to teach them this legacy that they too must not only live, learn, and find other people and pass it down and leave the watawaso bil, leave the reality of what their life is really about. What are the true realities, or not what the fake stuff is, the distractions, the Houdini, but what is the reality? Watawaso bis sabr, and leave the legacy of being patient. What does patient mean? In the English language, patient is someone sitting in a chair waiting to get beat. No, that's not patience in Islam. The word sabr and patience, I don't even like them together. The word sabr in Arabic language means persistent. He keeps getting up. He don't count how many times he fell. He keeps getting up and getting up and getting up until he or she dies. That's sabr. Because they know, they have knowledge that they're going to get reward for every falling and every standing. As long as they're doing it, intentions will decide the rulings of his life. God knows. Even though other people may not recognize what's going on. Does he need them?
No.
Not necessarily, no. So that's our job. To inspire others. That can't be done without da'wah. Right? That can't be done without people, you garnering people's trust. Right? So we have to learn how to do that, to make that effect. Never doubt that a small group of believing or dedicated people can change the world. In fact, nothing else ever has. Think about that. How many prophets? They've changed the world. How many companions? They have changed the world. It's not the masses. So then we don't, and what did Allah say when we were doing the tafseer? You know, it's not going to harm you. It's not going to harm you if everybody was to go astray. Either tadaytum, as long as you follow the guidance, right? It's not going to harm you. Whoever goes astray, as long as you do what you're supposed to do. So the student, he's constantly, first and foremost, focused on purifying his heart for Allah. And it's really beautiful because the actions that he do help change his heart. Does that make sense? There's like a circle here. We say there's emotion here, right? There's thought. There's action or habit, right? Habits. This is behavior. There's a pyramid. Each one of these is affecting the other. Isn't that correct?
No.
Each one of these. You're having bad thoughts, you're having impure thoughts and thoughts about something, change your behavior. Follow the habits that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Establish the salah. Establish the salah. There was a man who was stealing, right? He was doing all types of change the habit, just don't lie. Change the behavior. Behavior changes the emotions that come from the behavior, right? Change the behavior, change the emotion, the feelings that come from that. You get the point?
Yes.
Change the thoughts. So this is Islam. This is how Islam does it. So we're ourselves, our heart, and our fu'ad. This is our fu'ad here. The emotion, our qalb here. But our qalb is controlling our actions. Right? There's a difference. The fu'ad of Musa was about to tell. Okay? Because her heart, her fu'ad, we translate it in English as heart, both of them. They call the fu'ad the heart. It's not. The fu'ad is all the emotional parts of the human. Every time Allah uses it in the Quran. And every time he uses the qalb, he used the qalb to show that it is controlling the actions. لولا ربطنا على قلبها لتكون من المؤمنين. And Allah says, if it wasn't for the fact that we rabatna, that we firmed up her qalb. Why? So that she could be a believer. The Mufassirun say, because the heart, the qalb, controls the actions. Right? You guys follow me? The difference here?
No. Yes.
So that's why the English language it can only be a visa to understand the term. And then we got to go back to the term to see how it's working in a realistic way. Capiche?
Yes. No.
Can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different result.
Insanity, right. So then we change the behavior. That's one way. Another way is to change the thought. That's why we have aqidah. Okay? That's why we have the stories. It's change the thoughts. That changes the emotions. You read the stories, and this is motivational, right?
No.
So then this changes the emotion, the thought, the attachment to kufr. All right? To filth. when you recognize it as that. And that is another way of affecting the behavior. So it's each one is going to do something to the other. So the believer, the talibul ilm, he is a scientist. She is a scientist thinking about this in practical ways. How do I affect my heart? He recognizes, and one day they say, G.I. Joe and knowing is half the battle, right? You have to acknowledge, or the double A meanings, what is it, Alcohol Anonymous? They say you have to accept that you have a problem before you can solve that problem, right? Well, we have to acknowledge, we call it i'tiraf. We have to acknowledge that we are faulty, that we have faults. We're not perfect individuals. And once we acknowledge that, now we can seek ways of seeking perfection, striving for perfection. And this is the jihadul akbar. This is the jihad they're afraid of. They're not afraid of nobody showing up with a bomb and a rifle or anything like that. They're afraid of us attacking the hearts. Do you guys get my point?
No.
That's what the fear is. And getting that strong. Strong heart, strong mind, strong body. That's the connection. Weak heart, you do anything with it, as we have seen. We are watching out constantly for the afat of the nafs. And so we'll have to talk about some of those things, inshallah ta'ala. Follow me, guys?
No.
Sorry, I didn't intend to give you all of this today because I didn't want to overload you guys. But I can't help myself.
So the seat of knowledge is the heart.
The seat of knowledge. I don't know what you mean by that. Because, the seat of knowledge. What do we do with that statement? Does that mean, give me a different word than seat.
I mean,
He's in charge?
well, the very beginning of obtaining knowledge is purification of the heart, or seeking knowledge.
No, it's not. No. It's a circle, like I said. Let's say a person has a weak heart. They fall victim to their nafs all the time. Okay, the heart. That's why the actions. So you remember the Lord's Messenger said that the whole body stands up with the whole one part of the body gets sick, the whole body loses sleep. So if the person has a weak heart because he's fallen victim to smoking weed and fast women in the streets and money and all this other stuff that people get trapped off on, that's a heart issue, right? But we change the actions and that affects the heart. He fasts, and that affects his desires. He gets up and he prays at nighttime. That affects the rest of his heart. You see how we're attacking the heart through activity?
Yes.
We take him away from those fools in the street and have him with people who make him feel shy. And it affects his heart, his emotional return, his thoughts, which is ideas. Everybody follow me?
Yes.
So there is no one thing. We're too complicated for that. And that's also a plus, so that there's other ways. If it was one thing, then when that thing goes down, everything else is falling victim to that one thing. But Allah has made it so that there's other things that help as well. Inshallah. Does that answer your question? Alhamdulillah. The second is the adab of the student with his shaykh, his teacher, his professor. This is the second usul. It's interesting because, as I was saying now, people are saying, they're being characters. It's cool to be sarcastic to your teachers nowadays and to say slick things and act with them as though they are paid servants. It's the mentality, and that humiliates and degenerates the honor and the dignity of the knowledge, the scholar, and the student. Okay, because now it doesn't allow the student to get everything that the teacher, everything that the teacher can give. Okay. That's what the teacher's supposed to do. The teacher's supposed to exhaust himself. in giving the students everything that he can, that he has. As long as the student is greedy for it, it becomes like a candle that's dripping on another candle. And so as that candle's growing, this one's losing its energy. When I was in Mauritania, the first couple of days that I was taking lessons of Ajumia, there was a sheikh. We would go to his door. He would sit there. He would sit in his door. His son would sit behind him. It was just in his doorway, okay? And his son would hold him up. And his son would be crying, okay? And he'd tell him, you be quiet. Just hold me here. Holding him up. No back of he's the back of the chair. And he's trying to breathe. And he's going to die in the next couple of days. And he's giving us these lessons in Ajrumiyya. Listen up, Ya Bunay. And we're all sitting there outside in front of his house on his front porch. It's not a porch, but his front stoop thing right there. And we're all sitting there. And some of us are crying too, because we realize this man is teaching us with his dying breath. With his dying breath. He's telling us, and he's teaching us, I'm going to tell you things that they haven't written in books, and you're not going to see them all. The French burnt them all. And he's teaching us. And then a few days later, he dies. وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ. And we're sitting there appreciating these things from this guy. Okay? The adab that you're having with the sheikh. Okay? You can never pay him back. That's a Western idea anyway. You do me a favor, I owe you one. Now you owe me nothing. You can't pay that back. The Prophet ﷺ said, the missed opportunity never comes again. It's over. That time is gone. Even if he does something for you in the future, that's different. It's not a nit for nat, right? We got to get out of that mindset. It benefits the giver. تراه إذا جئته متهللا كأنك تؤتيه الذي أنت سائل. You'll see him when you come knocking on his door, متهللا, all happy and smiling, as if you came to give him the thing you came asking for. When he opens the door, he's like, oh man, like you came to give him the thing you're asking for. That's adab. Okay? That's honor and dignity and love and understanding, right?
5 minutes, Shaykh.
Shukran. The adab of the student with his sheikh. And we'll talk about that. Inshallah. 3. The adab of the student with his, we call it zamil. Zamil. We're going to call it his classmate, contemporary. This is we're going to call it zamil, is the Arabic word. But it's his classmate and his contemporary. There's a certain adab, a fraternity, like love and unity, a family type mentality with his companions. If those are in the class with him, and when he meets someone who he recognizes as a talib al-ilm, it's like meeting a cousin that you haven't seen before. You know what I'm saying? Right? You get my point?
Yes.
And that's how it's supposed to be. The adab of the student with his zameen. We'll talk about that. Number 4. Adab of the student with his lessons. Okay, lessons. We're going to call it dars. Dars. And 5, adab of the student in his life as a student. These are the 5 usul that we will discuss over the next couple of classes till we get through them, inshallah, till we have a healthy understanding of what these are, and inshallah ta'ala. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. بارك الله فيك. وفيكم بارك الله. Excuse me, I have to rush.
Do you know what the papers?
Homework. I forgot. I lost my mind.